Now there is a character that Murewa introduced during his run that I said grand opening, grand closing. And I was wrong. I was very wrong. They show back up in this issue. And there is a plot twist that I did not see coming. I mean, not see coming. Support this comic book series by visiting your LCS. Please. My name is Doran. This is SEO Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Age of Revelation with Rogue Storm number 2. Our story starts off with Storm, and she's holding the Nux that she gifted Rogue Red that are made of antimonium, vibranium, and mysterium. She puts it in some kind of ball, either compressed air or ice or a combination of two, I don't know. But she winds up swallowing it, and then she goes to proceed to eat some fish that she caught. And we see that she is in the wilderness. She is roughing it. Like, she's got a campfire and everything. And then somebody goes, "Hello, Aurora." And she goes, "5 years, Egan." Yes, Egan. The powerful spirit that Dr. Voodoo made a deal with to get rid of Storm's radiation poisoning. Now, the deal was for Storm not to use her powers for 7 days. And she didn't. For like 6.5 until Dr. Doom forced her to use her powers, and then Egan came out of nowhere and killed her on the spot. But at the same time, Attorney's punk ass showed up, made a deal with, and then really make a deal with Storm, took over Storm, and then dealt with this dude with quickness. And I mean with the quickness. And I'm thinking, at the time, grand opening, grand closing, we'll never hear from this dude ever again. And I thought it was Attorney that kind of rolled him into a ball and swallowed him, but seeing that Storm just did the same thing with the Nux, maybe this was her. Anyway, so Storm's like, "For 5 years, I scorched the earth searching for you, and for 5 years, you evaded me. And now you choose this moment to come. Why?" And Egan goes, "Famed last words for every livestock that's ever seen the farmer's knife coming. Why?" This dude was like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When he was fighting Dr. Doom and they were going at it, he was like, "Hold on, it's been a long time since I've had a Sorcerer Supreme for dinner. So calm down, little Doom. I don't want you to overheat yourself. That makes the meat tough." Like, Egan's like that. So then Storm's like, "What do you think your last words are going to be once I bury my axe into you?" And Egan's like, "This is not the time nor the place for us to exchange last words. So calm down. I got a few moves left I still need to do." She takes that axe and slices Egan in half with the quickness. And he just starts laughing. And he's like, "Someone's coming, Aurora. Someone's coming to get you." And then all of a sudden, this monstrous being comes out of nowhere. She turns around and she's like, you're not real." She gets stabbed in her stomach, just like she got stabbed by Egan so long ago. Well, let's say like 8 issues ago. And he's like, "If I'm not real, then why don't you?" And all of a sudden, somebody goes, "Wake up. Someone's coming, Aurora. Someone's coming to get you. Wake up." So now we see we are 10 years from now in the Age of Revelation in Nigeria, which is Murewa's stomping grounds. And we see that is Dr. Voodoo's brother Daniel, and he goes, "I knew it. I knew it. I knew I should have asked for somebody else for help, but my brother's last wishes was for me to work with you. You probably think the Crimson Bands of Sidorak is a heavy metal band, don't you?" So he's like, "You're gonna die, Storm, and they're gonna sell me to some bearded wizard's torture dungeon." So then Storm was like, "You're gonna alert our enemy to our location, Daniel. I would advise that you keep your opinions about me to yourself, or I will personally take you to that dungeon that you dread." I'll tell you what, this Storm right here plays no games. No whatsoever. So all of a sudden we see Gambit riding on a motorcycle, and I don't know how he's doing this because he's blind as hell. Storm hears him coming. She doesn't even look in the direction. She just hears in that direction, and she shoots 3 arrows in that direction. And then Gambit, with his blind ass, hears or feels the arrows coming, and he throws 3 cards at those arrows to pretty much neutralize the whole situation. So the Gambit stops and he goes, "Storm?" And she's like, "Gambit?" They kind of just look at each other, and then Gambit starts talking in the third person, which I'm trying to think, did he all, no, I read enough X-Men. I never heard him talking in third person like this, not like this. And he's like, "The storm Gambit knew didn't shoot without checking first." So she exhales and she goes, "I'm sorry, brother, but the storm that you knew hasn't seen betrayal that I've seen." So the Gambit pulls out his blindfold and he goes, "I haven't been seeing much these days." So Gambit's like, "Look, I'm here because I heard a rumor, and I want to make sure it's not true. And since you like family, I want to hear from the horse's mouth. So Storm, what did you do to Rogue Red?" So then we cut to 5 years ago in the Sahara Desert that might as well be Antarctica because of Storm. And we see Rogue Red and she goes, "Load him up." And one of those big old huge warmongering beasts that has a cannon on its back just fires, and it hits the Fortress of Solitude because Storm knows Superman, I guess. But it blows it up. When I mean up. But as the smoke clears, we see Storm is still in her bubble, and she is just fine. So the Iceman is like, "You really didn't think that was going to be enough to kill Storm, did you, Red?" So the Warpath's like, "What's the plan?" Phantom X goes, takes his flask and starts drinking. They're all moving down towards this big old crater that was created by that blast to get the Storm. Phantom X takes his flask again and is like, "For the homies," and he pours it over his head, and then he pours it on the dome that Storm created, and the whiskey freezes instantly. And the Phantom X like, "Warpath, I need your vibranium knife." So Warpath throws a knife, Phantom X catches it, and he goes, "This dome is made of ice, cold enough to freeze whiskey into slush by just touching it. But the air pressure within the dome is channeling in such a way that," and both Phantom X and Iceman say, "enhances the durability of the ice dome." So the Phantom X like, "But let's see if it's more durable than the vibranium." He's about to stab it when all of a sudden the Rogue Red goes, "Stop." And she turns to Bobby and she goes, "Can you melt this ice?" And Bobby pretty much in a nutshell says that, yeah, he could, but it's 2 of the strongest bodybuilders in the world going at it, and they're using their weakest muscles to go at it with. Him and Storm will go at it for months, and they ain't got months. So the Rogue's like, "Okay." So pretty much just saying this is, "I gotta break the ice." So the Phantom X goes, "Okay, shoot yourself, but busting up your hands doesn't get you out of paying me." And then Rogue goes, "Can a snail run his own shell?" Phantom X goes, "Okay." So Rogue winds up and she goes, "I love you, Aurora." And right before she's about to punch it, Storm just breaks out the ice and goes, "Leave or die," as she grabs Rogue by the throat. At the exact same time, EEGUN, the new girl with 6 arms, or 4 arms, cuts Phantom X's head clean off. I mean, clean off. Storm is still choking Rogue. We see Phantom X's body just gushing blood. All of a sudden, we see EEGUN waste no time and starts cutting up Warpath. Storm is still choking Rogue. Phantom X's body is still oozing blood. It hasn't hit the ground yet. Next thing you know, EEGUN is butchering Iceman, which I thought was kind of impossible. So EEGUN is stabbing the hell out of Warpath, like all in his back. Rogue is seeing all this while she's being choked out by Storm. She's seeing the death of her uncanny X-Force, and then she taps into a power that she hasn't used, or it was thought that she might not have, and she starts to steal Storm's power from her. And at that moment, EEGUN comes and stabs Rogue right in her back through her stomach. And at that moment, we see Egan start to make his way out of Storm's mouth because she has no power to keep him down anymore. So it looks like EEGUN was working for Egan And then we look around, we see Phantom Menace is dead. I mean, he's dead. Warpath is dead. Again, like the man can't stay alive. Bobby might be dead, but they got some kind of like magical incantation around him, so he might not be dead, and they're just making sure that he can't do nothing. And Egan, fresh out of Storm's body, is ready to kill Rogue Red to send a message to Storm. So then we cut back to Nigeria, where Storm and Gambit are facing each other, and Storm's like, look, I'm not even gonna try to pull any punches because you're my friend. You chose Rogue Green, and I'm not here to judge you. Look, the heart wants what the heart wants, but don't come acting like all of a sudden now you have feelings for Rogue Red. Like, don't give me that. So Gambit's like, look, I'm not going to sit here and just take this tongue lashing, all right? I couldn't just be sitting there with Rogue Green and having feelings for another woman. So the Storm's like, hold on, time out. What changed? Why are you here now? And before Gambit could explain what happened in Unbreakable X-Men #1, links in the playlist or description, don't know what happened, but an arrow comes out of nowhere and we hear Egan goes, Aurora, the fishman told me that you were desperately searching for me. I'm sorry it took me so long to get back with you, sweet child. Well, I've been hard at work making sure that none of the world's mystics would be interrupting our little soiree. And we see him eating Dr. Voodoo, Dr. Doom, Scarlet Witch, Stephen and Clea Strange, Advocate Harkness, Damian Hailstrom, like all of them, done in Egan's stomach. Murewa, you have a body count that is astronomical. Like, man, you might be the next Magneto, because Magneto, when I read the death of Magneto, like I knew Magneto had a body count, but I didn't know it was like that. Murewa, you starting to catch up. You got a body count. So we see that Egan has an army full of fishermen, and he is charging in. And he goes, now it's time to go at it. And Storm ain't bad in the eyelash. She jumped from a cliff. She has something in her hand. She uses her lightning, and it looks like magic, and she creates this magic bird. And then Egan's like, now it's time for last words, as Storm goes flying towards him. God, this book is good. God, this book is so good.